Mayor, oh, sorry, Billy.
Mr. Powell?
Mr. Powell.
Chief,
then-
where were the shell casings found?
Inside the court, actually.
In the basketball court? 6 of them.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's the 6 I heard.
That
In
was
my
on the
driveway.
first incident, yes, sir.
That's the day I called you, wasn't
Yeah,
it? Yeah.
And everybody, all my neighbors were calling. You know, you hear that? You hear? Yeah, I heard it. I just happened to be out in my driveway with my garbage can.
Yes, sir.
And I heard the 6 shots plain as day. I'm not for having to have an armed policeman at the courts because we have this problem. We sure have it now. Can't find police officers. And I think it's a waste of manpower to have somebody sitting up there because we got to babysit. That's my opinion. I'm sure everybody doesn't agree with me.
So, well, I would like to say again that we are here to serve, and that's what we're doing. We're here to serve. Public safety is our number one mission, and I do understand that perception is reality. I want you to feel safe. I wanted to be said that I've heard everybody else present, your concerns, and those are very important to us as well. Again, the people that I work with are on the ball. I'm very happy to work with them, and I know that it means something to them when you call the police and they're responding to your issue. I do know that.
Mayor Day, one of the things we would also need to consider. So right now, I made the decision to close the parks while the police department did an investigation. If the investigation is over, then there is no legal citation for us to have the parks closed. Then I think it offers another level of discussion. Whose decision is it to actually close down those parks? And then subsequent to that, does that decision require mayor and council action and vice versa? Does reopening require mayor and council action? Typically, it's been something we've handled administratively. And the other thing, our current code calls for our parks to close at 11 o'clock at night. Perhaps that's something, and it's been on the book since 2000. As you know, over the past couple of years, that's why we have so many ordinances. We've really worked to update those code of ordinances within our community. But it also begs the question, do we need to look at the enforcement of hours at all of our parks? Because there are things that happen in public parks everywhere. It's just going to happen, a lot of which we don't share. But those are just some other things relative to this conversation that we really need to consider, because the police department's investigation into Lee Street Park basketball courts and the park is over. And I think they've started following any leads that they've had.
Right. We've run out of leads. Of the people that we interviewed, no one had a bird's eye view of anything. They just heard shots in the area. The shots are coming from West Mill and Spring and all over the place that where they're hearing the shot. So we don't know exactly where they're coming from, other than that first incident where the shell casings were found.
I don't think it should be a council decision after the fact, because I feel that it should be a decision between the mayor and the chief of police, because you're the one that investigates. You know what's going on there. And as the chief executive officer of the city, I believe it should be a decision between you and me, whether if we have a shooting, we don't want to wait till a council meeting to close the park, for God's sake. I mean, it needs to be closed when you say it needs to be closed. If we need to close it temporarily, is what I'm saying. A permanent closing, I think, should be a council decision. But as far as closing something for a week or two, when we closed it before, that was a decision I made because of all the mess down there. I said, let's just close it up for a couple of weeks and see how people like that. And maybe they'll, pick up the trash. And, people went down there and talked to them about it, and it got a lot better. So, but, there's situations where, if something does happen, we do need to close it down immediately. And you're the one doing the investigation. And I think it should be a decision between the mayor and the chief of police when it happens suddenly, I'm saying. Mr. Powell, did you want to speak?
Yeah, I got one more thing. Okay, us having this meeting tonight, discussion, if, several people said it's not if something happens, it's when. Okay, what kind of rebound are we going to have when something does happen and we have not acted on it?
We are acting on it. We have a plan from our chief of police.
Well, I don't like that plan, personally.
Well, that's fine. I don't consider the policeman being at the park 2 hours a waste of time, because everybody's living around that park, which includes me. I'm about a block and a half from it. I don't consider that a waste of manpower if he's down there protecting the people that live around that park. Even if it's temporary, we're not saying he's going to stay there till Jesus comes back. But right now, what we're trying to do is put some things in place that will at least show that we're being proactive. And maybe part of the thing that I've learned about law enforcement, and I still have a lot to learn, is you don't always actually prevent crime. You make people go elsewhere to do their thing. And that's just, unfortunately, am I right, Chief? You don't always stop it. They just say, well, let's don't go there. Let's go, somewhere else. Let's don't go to that place because they got a policeman down there or whatever. And that's just part of enforcing the law. And I don't consider it a waste of manpower to make sure that the people living around that park don't have to hear or put up with that. I don't consider it a waste at all. Not one bit. I think it's manpower well spent myself, because we've got a crisis situation and all of us feel strongly about it. And, I'm in favor of fighting back. I'm not in favor of closing permanently. I don't believe nobody's going to chase me off the playground. That's just the way I play. And that's what I think. But in the meantime, I agree with Ms. Messick. We want to make sure that we're doing something that helps the people that live close to that park, because we can't ignore the fact that people live right around there. It's got to be a balance. But no, you don't chase me off the playground. I'm fighting back. I don't think we ought to give up our park just because some no good, I don't even want to say egg sucking or whatever, but comes over here and does what they're doing. They're doing it because they think we're going to run, and we can't run. We can't run far enough. We've got to fight back. I believe that we've got to fight back. The first shooting, which was a shooting, I don't know about the other incidences. I had passed that park not 20 seconds before that happened. I was actually probably in front of Ed Wise's house in my car whenever somebody texted me about it. So I know it had just happened. I probably had the radio blaring, but I didn't hear it. But I had literally just come past that park. And I go down there all the time, and the people that live around there know that because they see me down there. So, but I'm fighting back. That's my personal opinion. You don't chase me off the playground. No way, Jose. No way. I'm not made that way. I didn't get to where I am by running. That's for sure. And I'm not about to run now. So